This hour by Frederick Remington, fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. Exclusive, no refrigeration, 10-year extended shelf life bacon. The thickest, meatiest, center-cut bacon in the industry at fullycookedbacon.com.
The stocks discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice.
What kingdom has sent you?
The kingdom of the Most High.
Nothing you have ever experienced can prepare you for the unbridled carnage you're about to witness. The Super Bowl, the World Series, they don't know what pressure is. In this building, it's either kill or be killed. You make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute, you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The Genesis Communication Network is proud to bring you Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week elf, Mark Leibovit, welcoming you on board his financial time machine. And here is the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's Mark Leibovit, and welcome to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, October 7th. As usual, we're going to have a jam-packed show for you. I want to welcome you to what I call my financial, political, spiritual, and musical time machine, where we look at markets both past and future. The cool question now is, what are the chances of Dow Industrials hitting 1 million? As you know, it closed around 22,700. Well, Warren Buffett is a numbers guy, and he thinks it will happen by the year 2117, and that's in 100 years. So math tells us that if you close now around 22,700, that will come out to a compounded annual growth rate of about 3.9%. So over a 100-year period, I guess that's absolutely possible. So I guess for those of you who are going to live forever or planning for generations to come, 1 million in the Dow Industrials may not sound preposterous, looking out way, way into the future. Looking at our list of guests today, I'm of course going to have Sinclair No joining us later in the program. We're going to have Kyle Dennis join us later in the program, and on this segment we're going to be listening to our good friends Harry Boxer and Don VIALOUX. So let's turn it over to Don. Welcome back, my good friend, Don VIALOUX from the Canadian Society of Technical Analysts and also a chartered market technician, CMT. He was also an advisor to the Horizon Seasonal Rotation ETF Don VIALOUX between 2009 and 2015. And he has about approaching 50 years. We'll say about 47 years of experience in the investment industry. So we're getting some really important insight here. Thank you for joining us, Don. The tape start. I guess you're going to have to... Well, let's see here. We got a lot to cover here. Let's talk about the third quarter reports that started to appear this past week.
Yeah, they start to appear in big volume starting around the end of next week. Focus initially is on the financial companies in the U.S. All the big guys are coming out with their numbers. Consensus calls for third quarter earnings gains by the Dow Jones Industrial Companies of 3.9% and a gain by S&P 500 companies of 4.2%. More impressive is expectations for fourth quarter results. Consensus for S&P 500 companies calls for an acceleration of earnings gains in the fourth quarter to an 11% rate.
The move in the U.S. dollar index has had a bit of impact here as well this past week, too.
Yeah, that's the big factor that's going to have an impact on fourth quarter earnings. About half of the gain from earnings in the fourth quarter will come from a 10% drop in the U.S. dollar index from its peak in the fourth quarter of last year. The revenues and earnings from higher valued international companies translate into higher U.S. dollars. Approximately 50% of earnings realized by the S&P 500 companies comes from international operations. Approximately 60% of earnings realized by Dow Jones Industrial Companies comes from international operations.
So which sectors will benefit most from this currency translation?
I guess the biggest one is the technology sector, with over 70% of their revenues and earnings are coming from international operations. The other sector, which is important, is the industrial sector, with over 60% coming from international operations. Now, the importance of this is that when companies come up with their third quarter results, they're going to be very good, but look for positive guidance for the fourth quarter when they release their third quarter results.
Tom, we only have a few seconds. The Canadian dollar's had a huge rally here in recent weeks. Does it appear that we may have temporarily peaked, or it's just a pause before a refresh before we continue moving higher?
On a seasonal basis, the Canadian dollar moves lower from right around now right through until approximately the second week of December. So look for the Canadian dollar to continue moving lower over the next 2.5 months.
Don, always a pleasure having you on the show. Don VIALOUX from the Canadian Society of Technical Analysts, and we'll speak to you next week. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Welcome back, my good friend, Harry Boxer from the TechTrader.com. And as you may recall, he runs a live trading room which features his trade alerts and technical market analysis. He's been doing this for nearly 50 years, and he's author of the book Profitable Day in Swing Trading, which was named by Stock Traders Almanac as a 2015 Best Investment Book of the Year. Hi, Harry. How's the market treating you? We've had new highs, and it just never seems to want to stop.
Well, what's interesting is no matter what the market does, we were down this morning. We had a lot of stocks that gapped and started to run. It wasn't a great trading day, but it's turned out to be a good one so far.
Let's talk about gold a little bit. It's been down and dirty and looked like it was trying to reverse the last day or so. Is it with the strong dollar? Is this going to happen, or it's irrelevant? What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, from a day trade standpoint, we're day trading JNUG, the triple junior gold miner ETF, and it ran from 1770 to 1945 this morning, and it's currently consolidating. There may be more to go. When you look at the overall chart, it did hold for a week and a half here in this 17.5, 18 range, and now over 19. So if it can get over, say, 20.5, we could maybe get a reversal and an important leg up in this one. But I look at other stocks, like my favorite all-time gold stock is Royal Gold. And it pulled back underneath support, but it's really technically right at its trend line. And if the gold's going to make a move, and these gold stocks are going to move, they really got to do it from around here. They've been consolidating long enough, in my opinion. So we'll see. This is either the next leg up about to begin, or the stocks are going to pull back even deeper. That's the problem. You can never tell. One day there's not a trend make, and so I usually day trade them. And then I'm never swing. Yeah, I don't swing ETFs. They're too volatile. So, but a lot of my biotech and semiconductor stocks have just done wonderfully all year. So those are the ones I'm focusing on.
Okay, we only have a few seconds. Let's talk about one of your favorites, LABU, right?
Well, it's a biotech ETF. It's a good day trading stock, but not so much a swing. I like this little junior semiconductor stock that a couple of my institutional guys love, and I like the chart a lot. It's called AXTI. It's a symbol. It's AXT Incorporated, or a semiconductor company. Mm-hmm. If you take a look at the chart, you'll see it's been an uptrend since it was like $2, and here it is near 10. Feels like it's a $13, $14 stock near term, and maybe 18 to 20 on an intermediate term. That could be a double from here. Looks great.
Harry, we wish you a happy weekend. I know we have Columbus Day coming up Monday, but market's still open, but we have Canada shut down, so it'll be an interesting trading day on Monday. And
certainly will. Thanks for calling.
Have a great weekend. Harry Boxer from the TechTrader.com. Thank you again, Harry, and I apologize for some of the technical problems, but we got to hear Don and Harry, which is the most important thing. We're going to be joining Henry Weingarten and Kyle Dennis on segment 2, so I don't want you to be touching that dial, and stay with us, so they have some interesting comments. Meanwhile, we are in October, but look at the markets into a new record highs, and the question is, will there be some type of October surprise here, because we are way, way extended, but we've been breaking all rules to the upside, as you know, as this market's been climbing that proverbial wall of worry, and money managers are either short or out of the market. So it has the potential to even accelerate more if it doesn't start correcting pretty soon. Stay tuned, folks. We'll join you after the break. Thanks for tuning in to Wall Street Raw.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
Hello, Mr. Anderson. The NSA has noticed how much time you spend on conservative news sites. We have no choice but to consider you a domestic terrorist.
Tired of your internet activity being monitored by Big Brother? Get VirtualShield.com, the world's easiest to use virtual private network. Browse the web anonymously, leaving pesky advertisers and spies in the dust. Get started today at VirtualShield.com. Take advantage of our free 30-day trial. VirtualShield.com. You have the right to remain private.
Does the current world crisis in North Korea or our domestic crisis right here in America concern you? Well, I know it concerns me. My friends over at Legacy Food Storage have solutions in the event there's the inevitable. What's the inevitable? Civil unrest, a run on your local grocery store. And here's my question to you. If this happens, how do you feed your children? How do you feed your grandchildren? Legacy Food Storage has the solutions. In fact, they can help you implement a simple plan to take care of your needs in the event of the inevitable. By calling them right now, I have authorized them to give you a special 20% discount at checkout by simply using GCN. Call 888-543-7345 or visit them at LegacyFoodStorage.com. That's 888-543-7345 or visiting them at LegacyFoodStorage.com. Make sure you use GCN at checkout for an incredible 20% discount. Don't be a victim. Take control of your life now.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Dr. Carolyn Dean wants you to have a free chapter of her new book, The Magnesium Miracle 2nd Edition, and it's available at magmiracle.com. In your free chapter, Dr. Carolyn Dean explains how magnesium is essential to support the structure and function and overall health of your body. Your free chapter is your guide to learn how to support your heart, bone, metabolic, lung, and mental health with this powerful mineral. The Magnesium Miracle 2nd Edition is available on Amazon, but right now get a free chapter at magmiracle.com, spelled M-A-G, miracle.com.
Kiyosaki, Rogers, and Schiff all concur there's an economic calamity that will be facing this country. My question to you is, do you know when, and are you prepared? Most people don't, but my friends over at Republic Monetary Exchange have been leading experts in precious metals to help you offset the coming economic collapse. Right now, for a limited time, they have a free book called The 10 Reasons You Should Own Gold. You simply need to give them a call at 888-772-2929 to get that in your hands. Do not allow the insiders to do what they did to you in 2008, putting your IRAs, 401ks, and savings in jeopardy. You need this book, and you need it now. The 10 Reasons You Should Own Gold. Call 888-772-2929. That's 888-772-2929. There's a reason that the largest investment banking company in the world, J.P. Morgan, just purchased another 50 million ounces of silver. This free book will explain it. 888-772-2929.
This just in. Before your doctor gives you another antibiotic prescription that you don't want, get this free report, The Miracle of Garlic, your first home medicine. This free report is filled with easy kitchen remedies for common colds, flus, sore throats, ear infections, and more. Plus, learn to boost your immunity before you get sick. Go now to GCNwellness.com. Just like it sounds, GCNwellness.com to get your free report, The Miracle of Garlic. Click GCNwellness.com.
Think big. Think positive. Never show any sign of weakness. Always go for the throat. Buy low, sell high. Fear, that's the other guy's problem.
Welcome back to the Wall Street Raw Radio Show with Mark Leibovit, your time machine for the financial markets. Want to know more? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Now, here's the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Welcome back, my good friend, Henry Weingarten, fresh back from his trip to China and more particularly Hong Kong. Henry is the managing director of the Astrologers Fund, and he combines both fundamental, technical, astrological, and all their indicators together in his analysis. Very good over the years. Henry, thank you, and tell us a little bit about your trip.
Well, first of all, we may actually have a Hong Kong fund, but it's going to include a Feng Shui, which we haven't included before. We may be doing a fund on astrology and Feng Shui as well from Hong Kong. That was part of my trip. Great city, loved it. Can do business and great food. It's a walking city. I recommend it to everybody for business and for fun. It's quite good. We're a bit jet lagged, and when we got back, the first thing we saw was the market up and gold down. So what we suggested, of course, was buying gold, and we suggested making liquidity. And the reason we said liquidity is the market can easily go down the next week and a half. Then it's sort of positive astrologically, but it's a little dangerous to be short here. So we're just suggesting raising cash, writing calls, that sort of thing. Now, on Sunday night, with unfortunately the incident when the markets went up, and very often when there are disasters, it's somewhat manipulated that the market goes up as opposed to down, which is what it should do, but they don't want people to think that things are so bad. So markets are a bit expensive, can go higher, of course, but it would be a good idea, even though we think the markets will stay high, will stay up. We think it's a little dangerous, and it's a good idea to take some chips off the table. So that's one of our basic views there.
Henry, we have a strong U.S. dollar, and I know you're bullish on gold. Is gold and the dollar going to rally together in your scenario?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Gold's undervalued here. It belongs at 1388. As long as it's under 1388, want to buy. So what are they going to do? We've predicted that they'll do 7 of the 9 increases they promised. Back, we didn't know whether the third one would be December or first quarter, and neither does the market. It keeps going back and forth, fourth quarter. But it doesn't matter. We're going to see, another 1.5 points, but that's a joke. Gold is undervalued. They're playing games. I wouldn't say it's bullish, but we said we'd like to buy stuff that's undervalued. But more important, you should have some gold in your portfolio, depending on your views of the globe. So we think it will move up. We have a lot of stocks that are moving up. Some of our favorite ones are up 25, 50% in the last 2 months. But you have to be a little stock specific. It's not like copper, which is going to move more next year and everything's going to move in the copper space. With gold, some of the companies are going to move and some aren't. You're going to have to be a little, you have to choose good ones.
Same with crude oil, which you're looking for.
Crude oil, we still like. We expect crude oil, and it's doing decently. And we think it will do well through next year. So we think it's something you want to continue to buy on dips absolutely for the next year. And we think we'll be in a range. You'll see certainly 55, and you'll probably see 60 and even 65 sometime. Yeah.
Henry, thank you for joining us. Always having you, pleasure having you on the show, and thank you for your report on China. Henry Weingarten from the Astrologers Fund. Speak to you next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back, a very special guest, Kyle Dennis from RagingBull.com. Kyle is the chief biotech strategist at RagingBull.com, and he's an independent equities trader. He's focused on covering undervalued stocks in the market, and he researches stocks which are under the radar, and he looks for supporting data about their stocks which tend to foretell their future. He calls them catalytic events, but he also uses technical analysis. Kyle, thank you for joining us.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, so interesting week. Biotech has been strong this past week. Stock market as well, but you're out there looking for the undervalued plays.
Yeah, this biotech market has been really hot and much stronger than I really anticipated. Now, I am looking at this one company here called, the ticker is CALA. It's about a $600 million market cap company. Trades on the NASDAQ, and it's called Calithera Biosciences. Now, I always like catalysts that have specific dates coming up. This one here has a phase 1/2 trial for a drug that they have in their pipeline that treats renal cell carcinoma and non-small cell lung cancer. And they'll be announcing some data at this conference called the Society for Immunotherapy of Cancer, and that's SITC for short. That's on November the 11th. So we have a few weeks here leading up to that, and on a technical basis, the chart looks really nice, too, in my eyes, where it's consolidating a bit sideways. I think it's a really good pickup under $17 a share for a possible move to about 20 in the meantime, given that we have a few weeks here. And I've found a lot of success so far this year with stocks with specific dates, especially stocks that have data for cancer coming up with specific dates. And just wanted to mention, too, that they have some phase 2 data for triple-negative breast cancer also due out this quarter. So kind of a double catalyst event for this Calithera Biosciences company.
I know you had mentioned that the biotech index, I know you sort of referred to it a moment ago, market being stronger. Do you still see the biotech index pulling back a little bit, or do you think we had our correction already?
I'm still a bit cautious. I really think, I want to see it pull back to about 320 on the IVD, the biotech index. I really think that would be a little bit of a healthy slight pullback or correction to kind of get valuations back in line. The biotech index has been incredibly hot, and especially the small caps. So that's usually a sign we're going to get a pullback soon. Maybe my call was a tad bit early. Either way, I love playing catalyst events, so I do want to watch all those ones with those dates coming up.
Right, that's important. Kyle, thank you for joining us. Kyle Dennis from RagingBull.com, and we'll have him back on the show next week. And have a great weekend. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, too.
So here, let's look at some of the big point movers here this past week. Berkshire Hathaway topped the list again. It was only up 6,260 points to $281,000 a share. NVR.org is up 36 points to 28.90. That's NVR. Sherwin-Williams, SHW, is up 25.5 points to 383. Regeneron Pharmaceutical is up 23 points to 469. That's REGN. Sherwin-Williams, by the way, was SHW. Mettler Toledo, that's MTD, up 20 points to 645.76. All very expensive stocks. Biorad Laboratories, it's BIO, up to 17 points to 228. Netflix was up 16.5. That's NFLX to 198.02. BlackRock was up 16 points to 463. That's BLK. Tesla bounced back a little bit, up 16 points to 356. That's TSLA. Biogen, that was up 15 points. BIIB to 327. Let's see here. We had Intuitive Surgical surging 13 points this week. That's ISRG to 361. JW Mays, that's MAYS, that was up 11.5 points to 47. Constellation Brands, that's a big stock here in the liquor business, up 12 points to 209. That's STZ there. Don't touch your dial. We'll be back after the break with our good friend Sinclair Know.
Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at WallStreetRaw.com. At WallStreetRaw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market crash. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to WallStreetRaw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at WallStreetRaw.com. That's WallStreetRaw.com.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-557-0158. That's 800-557-0158. Again, 800-557-0158.
Do you have difficulty taking supplements? Are you searching for a high-quality, complete nutritional drink that your whole family will love? NutriMedical's Life Support has arrived. All of your daily nutritional requirements in one quick, delicious drink. Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support is a proprietary blend of vegan protein, activated vitamins, essential minerals, amino acids, probiotics, green tea, digestive enzymes, anti-inflammatories, cancer prevention, detoxification, and much more. Your body will high-five you for this one. Life Support is the best complete nutritious meal replacement on the market. Whether you are an elite athlete, have post-operative challenges, chronic illness, elderly, or a family that just wants a quick, delicious drink, try Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support for optimized nutrition in one great-tasting smoothie. Just add cold water, almond milk, fruit, or anything else you like. NutriMedical's Life Support. Try our great-tasting chocolate or vanilla today. Call 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com. NutriMedical.com for the whole family.
It's been said, any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years from My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
Against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet anything that is thy neighbor.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. Want to know more about Wall Street Raw and the Leibovit VR newsletters? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com.
Welcome back, my good friend and always special guest, Sinclair No from KFNN 1510 Phoenix and author of the incomparable blog, EatTheBankers.com. Sinclair, thank you again for joining us on this bright Saturday morning.
Well, thank you. Always a pleasure, Mark.
So let's talk about Friday's employment report that came out. It was a little less than expected.
It was a loss.
Yeah.
We lost jobs in September. That has not happened since 2010. We broke a string of 83 consecutive months of job gains. The economy lost 33,000 jobs in September. Now, I know you're one of the best technical analysts I've ever met, Mark. And I hope you know how much I respect your work in technical analysis, and I think thousands and thousands of traders do as well.
Well, thank you.
Whenever you have a breakdown in the charts like this, where you go from positive to negative, you have done some technical damage.
A key reversal.
I think so. Now, the only thing I can say about this is September. We had the hurricanes, Harvey and Irma. So the gathering data may be off. It may be skewed. Maybe they didn't get exactly the right statistics. There will be revisions in months ahead. This could still be reversed into a positive with the revisions. But if it remains a negative, it is a key reversal for whatever reason. You can say it was the hurricanes, and they certainly had an impact, but it doesn't matter why. It just matters that we had a reversal on the chart. It's just like if you're buying a stock or selling a stock. It doesn't matter why the stock lost money. It just did, and it's reflected in the chart. So this is, I think, an important thing that we're seeing here. And we're certainly seeing a slowdown in job growth. Year-over-year number in September was 1.77 million, which is down considerably. That's the slowest year-over-year job growth that we've seen since August of 2011. So we're starting to see the labor market slow down, which we anticipated would happen this late in the recovery. We're seeing it now. I don't think it's enough to change the Federal Reserve's decisions to tighten up on stimulus, and I don't think it's enough to change their decision to raise interest rates again in December. But now you've got a situation with rising interest rates, quantitative tightening, and a slowing job market, and the chance of a little bit more inflation creeping in the form of wage push inflation. This is going to be a bit of a challenge for the markets to overcome, and throw in the idea that we've got earnings season coming in, and there is no room in valuations for a weak earnings season. It just makes me feel like the market's a bit toppy at these levels.
Oh, well, you look at the charts, if you want to talk about the market straight up for weeks, it's due for a setback at some point, no question. Maybe the jobs report, as you indicated, might be the catalyst.
Well, I don't think this is going to be the catalyst, and for the large part, Wall Street kind of looked past this because there is so much uncertainty about the data that we're looking at. We're really not going to know that much about this data until there's a revision next month. But if this holds up as a loss, I think it's definitely a negative. And then you've got all these other things. This just doesn't help, particularly when you combine it with everything else that's going on in the markets these days. And as you say, really, really overvalued market right now, and a bit overextended, too.
That's an understatement.
That's an understatement.
Breaking rules, absolutely. So let's talk briefly about Equifax. Richard Smith, the former CEO, and they're probably still going to go after him at some point, testified before Congress, the Senate, this past week. But it was really interesting, sort of funny, if you remember the story that came out about their tech guy, and they knew there was going to be a problem and had to be patched. And then we saw Senator Al Franken come out, and he gave this unknown tech guy the name of Gus.
Gus. Who is this tech guy? We don't know his name. Let's just call him Gus.
I thought that was really funny. So Gus may have been responsible for the collapse of the credit system in the United States.
I was reminded of an old story my stepfather used to tell me. He said he had a friend one time in New York, and his name was Gus. And he met somebody from New York one time, and he says, "Oh, do you know my friend Gus?"
This rang home true to you.
Oh, it just rang home so true for me. This was really some theater going on back on Capitol Hill. In addition to Gus, Rich Uncle Pennybags attended the testimony. You know the character from the Monopoly game?
Really?
With the top hat and the monocle? Somebody dressed up as Rich Uncle Pennybags, top hat, monocle, sat pretty much right behind Richard Smith, so that whenever the video camera went over to Smith, there was Rich Uncle Pennybags sitting behind him.
I didn't see that one. I missed that. That must have been a riot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this was a good theater. Good theater. I don't think they figured out anything, except that Equifax made a bunch of mistakes. And I can't imagine that this is not going to cost them big time in the future. It may change the way we do credit reporting in this country. It's a possibility. I'm not holding my breath for that, but it's a possibility.
Apparently, they're going to make a little bit of money. The IRS apparently was hiring them to do some work on top of everything else.
Yeah, to detect fraud.
Going to pay them $7.25 million to verify tax buyers' identities.
A no-bid contract to make sure that people's tax returns are not fraudulent and that somebody's not coming in and stealing their identity when they file their tax returns. It's like they're the ones who gave away the key. Oh.
It's incredible.
It is incredible. But, that's why I don't hold out much hope that we'll see some reform in the credit reporting agencies, but we certainly need to. I mean, it's not as if we've given them permission to do this. They just do it. They just take that information.
Well, they definitely fall into the banks behaving badly category. We got to throw the credit agencies in with the banks right now.
Oh, this is getting to be crowded.
And just a few seconds here, we heard Timothy Sloan from Wells Fargo testify before the Senate Banking Committee this week, and he defended the bank against criticism. Is that even acceptable?
It shouldn't be. I don't know why Sloan is even there. I don't know why we can't break up Wells Fargo. It just makes no sense. Why should this criminal enterprise be allowed to continue? It makes no sense. It is a systemically dangerous entity for the U.S. economy at this point. And they have proven time and again, it's kind of like you get a criminal and they break the law and the judge says, okay, you're going to go on parole. You break the law again, we're going to throw you in jail. Breaks the law again.
Sinclair?
Okay,
we'll catch you on the next segment. We're going to get caught up in this next segment. We got a lot to cover. Sinclair No from KFN 1510 Phoenix and author of the blog EatTheBankers.com.
You're
we'll be right back
listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
I'm now convinced more than ever that we're just one major headline away from the next market crisis. Guess what? A new timeline report that I just read says that I happen to be right. Something big is getting ready to happen, just like it does at least once a decade over the last 100 years. An energy crisis in 79, an S&L crisis in 89, and the last two I warned you about, remember? The dot-com bust in 99 and the subprime crisis in 09. What's next? I want you to call for a free copy of Swiss America's new timeline report.
Thanks, Michael. Call toll-free 888-732-7164. That's 888-732-7164.
I've told you often, those who don't learn from history are destined to repeat it. Take action. It's no longer a question of if it's going to happen. It's just a question of when it's going to happen.
Call toll-free 888-732-7164. That's 888-732-7164.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the Internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Hello, Mr. Anderson. The NSA has noticed how much time you spend on conservative news sites. We have no choice but to consider you a domestic terrorist.
Tired of your internet activity being monitored by Big Brother? Get VirtualShield.com, the world's easiest to use virtual private network. Browse the web anonymously, leaving pesky advertisers and spies in the dust. Get started today at VirtualShield.com. Take advantage of our free 30-day trial. VirtualShield.com. You have the right to remain private.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's MyPillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
There is no freedom without the law.
Get it? Got it? Good.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw and the final segment with Mark Leibovit. Now, here's the elf himself.
Continuing with our conversation with Sinclair No from KFN 1510 Phoenix, and author of the incomparable blog, EatTheBankers.com. We're having a lot of fun this Saturday morning, Sinclair, talking about Equifax and Wells Fargo. But let's move on a little bit.
Penny bags and and Gus.
Right. It is an ongoing comedy, but unfortunately a bit of a tragedy for Americans who may suffer from the damage caused here. I know on my part, I froze my credit reports, which means that anytime I want to buy anything on credit, I got to go now and unfreeze them, and they're going to probably charge me to do it too, you know. So.
Well, and it's not just Equifax. You got to consider TransUnion and Experian. There are three that you have to deal with, and you should not be paying Equifax to freeze your credit. In fact, you should have until January to do that, and then you get a year where you can freeze and unfreeze credit through Experian, through Equifax. But then you have to worry about Experian and TransUnion, and they may very well charge you for any freeze and unfreeze that goes on.
Let's move on. Of course, the tax plan is the budget, of course, too. But the discussion about the tax plan is still, high on the agenda, and I think you may or may not agree, but I think a lot of the rally in the stock market has been anticipating the tax plan coming through.
Oh, absolutely. I agree that the market is looking forward to changes in the tax code. There's no question about that. That would explain a lot of the run-up that we've seen in the market, because, you knock down the corporate rate significantly, and it's like free money, found money for corporations. Absolutely.
But they're also calling it the potential middle class miracle.
The miracle will be if there's a tax cut for the middle class.
Right.
And I'm not sure we're going to see that. Certainly, there will be some people who would experience a tax cut, but there are also a lot of people who itemize, who would lose a lot of deductions. Mm-hmm. And we even saw Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, Chief Economic Advisor Gary Cohn coming out, and they kind of hedged on the idea that everybody in the middle class is going to get a tax cut. You look at the basic number, the low number goes from 10% tax rate up to 12%. Right there, that tells you that maybe not everybody's going to be getting a tax cut. Now, I know there are changes in the standard deduction, but there are also changes in personal exemption. And there might be changes in deductions for state and local taxes. It's really a little bit too early to tell because we just don't know what will be in the final version. After all and I got to say, after all these months of waiting for a blueprint on tax reform, the administration put out 9 pages, and they had some very large fonts that they used, and they had a lot of white space in those 9 pages. I mean, it's like, you know, when you were in high school and the teacher said you got a 10-page book report, and all of a sudden the font got bigger and bigger. Well, that seemed to be what was going on. It was really short on details. It's going to be a long time till we figure out what's going on. And by the way, most of what they're talking about at this point would just explode the deficit. It would just be enormous. So I don't know that they're going to be able to pull this off in its current form at all. It's going to be vastly different, and that means it's going to take time. I don't think anything's going to happen significantly before the end of the year, and then the question is how long until something does happen. So Wall Street may have been a little bit overly enthusiastic about seeing tax cuts coming their way in the near future.
Well, they'll definitely put a crimp on that stock market rally. Well, we saw another interesting story and comment this past week. It was actually back on Tuesday where Trump told Fox News he was going to have to wipe out Puerto Rico's debt, and this sent some shivers into the municipal market.
That's an understatement.
I'm trying to be politically correct on a certain level here, but maybe Puerto Ricans are listening to the broadcast. But it was a mess.
Well, I would say Puerto Rico needs to have its debt wiped out. I don't see how they'll ever repay it.
Is it $3.8 trillion or something?
No, $72 billion.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad.
Well.
We have a muni market of $3.8 trillion, so we measure it against that market. Okay.
Yeah. For Puerto Rico, it's pretty bad. This works out to, I mean, there are about 3.5 million people in Puerto Rico, and that number is shrinking all the time because they just don't have the economic infrastructure to support jobs and support an economy over there. As you know, the electric grid is in horrible shape, and there's no way they're going to be able to rebuild it with that kind of debt hanging over their head other than just giving them money. Why not just, bankruptcy, the whole idea behind bankruptcy is you clean off the debt and you make a fresh start. That's what they need to do in Puerto Rico. It would be a good thing to see the debt wiped out, but I don't see how it could happen. And what Trump is talking about, I don't know that he has the authority to do it. And meanwhile, the municipal bond market just freaked out over him just saying it, and it seemed to just be something off the cuff. So I don't know what to make of it.
And Puerto Rico, as you know, for the last 3 years is experiencing all kinds of problems anyway. I mean, it was just bad news after bad news. We had talked about this for the last couple of years, so it's the last thing they needed.
Yeah, it's the last thing they needed, but it's what they got. And now, let's see if we can have a little compassion and really try and help them rebuild their economy.
Sinclair, great having you on the show. We're talking to our good friend Sinclair No from KFNN 1510 Phoenix and author of the great blog EatTheBankers.com, and we'll pick up next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sinclair. And we have a couple minutes here to the end of the show on this Saturday, October 7th. We're looking at the Dow Industrials closing virtually at the record high of 22,773. And here we are watching the market continue to move higher in the face of, supposedly bad news with North Korea and concern about the tax plan. And we had the employment report on Friday. But looking at the charts, you got a couple 100 points here, minimum to the downside that, would be a healthy event just on a short-term basis. And, of course, something, bigger could happen. There could also be a trigger, and we'll just have to wait and see here. October is still notorious for some of these shakes, but the Fed, the plunge protection team, and so forth are more than aware of this. And I think, we have been for decades seeing rig markets, but even more aggressively in recent months here as the market, continually violates these rules to the upside. But, the trend is your friend, and you don't want to fight the trend until you get a clear sign of a reversal. Some early signs on Thursday and Friday with the Dow transports underperforming a little bit to the downside. And, of course, transports broke out to new highs the past week or so, reaching over 10,000 midweek on Wednesday. But that's a good leading indicator, so let's watch the Dow transports. That might give us a good sense of what's coming here. But, you got indices like the Russell 2000 up 12 days in a row into Thursday before they start to pull back on Friday. So let's see, how it all plays out here. I'm more on the cautious side. Straight up markets is not the way I trade the markets. Not talking investment here. If you're talking investment, you just sit and hold the market, then you just sort of ignore it because it probably will go to 1 million, like Warren Buffett says, over the next 100 years. And we probably see the Dow at 30 or 40,000 probably in the next 5 or 6, 7 years, just because that seems to be the place where money is flowing. It's an easy decision. Just go into the indexes and hold. So that might be part and parcel to a portion of your portfolio. Meanwhile, gold here seemed to hit a little bit of a trading bottom, down about 100 points from where it was in mid-September, from 1253 down to 1260. So we're probably going to get maybe a little bit of a bounce here, but I'm worried about that U.S. dollar continuing strong. And that apparently could still be the case, in which case we're going to see some further pressure on gold. As we do each week, we close our show as our old friend Ed Hart used to do on the Financial News Network from the 1970s, 80s. As he said, as we said, we will know in the fullness of time. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for listening to Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week Elf, Mark Leibovit. If you missed any of today's show or to get in touch with Mark, please go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Any stocks or investment discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. We first recommend you seek out a licensed financial professional for advice. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. Here, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market tsunami. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required, and no one will call. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw report and Gold News Raw report at wallstreetraw.com.
Actual testimonials from real Numana customers.
I've tried all kinds of food storage, and Numana is by far the best.
I'm a single mom with 2 teenage boys and a full-time job. I don't always have time to cook a 4-course meal. That's where Numana has been such a blessing. I can spend less time in the kitchen and more time on what matters most, like helping with homework.
Find out for yourself. Order online at thepowermall.com. That's thepowermall.com. Numana is
the stores I love to eat. Yum!
Thepowermall.com.
With nearly 70 years of history engineering bunkers, today, Atlas Survival Shelters is still the authority. Atlas offers 18 different choices, from commercial tornado shelters to underground nuclear fallout shelters, starting at just $99.99 with 100% financing available, comfortable interiors, and state-of-the-art air filtration systems. Atlas Survival Shelters are the most popular private survival shelters in the world. Call 1-855-4-BUNKER now or visit atlassurvivalshelters.com.